stunning looks than swift.
2 rounds of games complete, over to round 3, and New Zealand, they look like the team to beat in this World Cup, at least in the early stages. Up against them now are Bangladesh at a Chepauk surface, which who knows, might offer some turn and might just keep them in the game. It's New Zealand versus Bangladesh then, as we build up to that on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo MatchDay with Dale Steyn and Anil Kumble. They certainly do look like the team to beat New Zealand, and to think, can they get any stronger? And then we hear that Kane Williamson's back. Dale Steyn?
Yeah, they'll welcome him with all arms open, and he's Captain Kane, even though he's not playing, I can guarantee you that in the dressing room, he's leading the talks in terms of how the team goes about their business. And then once everybody goes onto the field, then Tom Latham will overtake that. But if he's fit and available and he's ready to field, essentially, and I don't mean physically field, I mean play for 100 overs, then he'll get the nod to get into the park and play. In the warm-up games, he looked good. His timing was wonderful. It was just a question mark about the fitness. Can he bat for long periods of time? Can he still field and move side to side? If New Zealand feel that he's good to go and he feels he's good to go, he's automatically in that team.
Will Young's runs in the last game give them something to think about, albeit against the Netherlands, with no disrespect. So we're getting information that perhaps with Will Young batting extensively in the nets before the game, it could be Mark Chapman who makes way. That does make it a top-heavy sort of order, you think, Anil, with Rachin Ravindra doing so well at 3. So how would you like for them to shape up?
Yeah, I think that's something that New Zealand would have thought of, and they in fact promoted Rachin Ravindra to open the batting, hoping that in case Kane Williamson isn't ready, or when he comes back, then he could perhaps open the batting. But with Will Young scoring runs against Netherlands, if he continues to stay in the team, then he needs to open. Then, of course, Chapman will miss out. They're still batting well.
Pretty strong team anyway.
Yeah. And no better pitch to get Kane Williamson back if what we saw India-Australia on that surface. Kane Williamson, New Zealand will need Kane Williamson, on that surface, especially against Bangladesh.
What about needing Ish Sodhi then? That's a temptation, maybe for Lockie Ferguson?
That's a temptation. That's a temptation for a Lockie Ferguson. But it depends on the surface.
If we do get the same surface,
I think so. I think it'll be a good swap for a Lockie Ferguson.
We also know Tim Southee is fit and available, but it doesn't seem like he can force his way into this team. Henry and
difficult when you're a bowler, I suppose, and I don't mean that from my bowling point of view. I just feel like you've got to go out there and you've got to bowl 10 overs. And if you've had a bit of ring rust and you haven't played for a while, and I believe that he wasn't feeling you didn't have a lot of feeling. So I'm assuming that he may not have had a lot of practice on it too, because you want to give it time to recover, to heal before you start bowling. You don't want to do it any more damage before you get on. So Southee wouldn't be game ready. He's an experienced campaigner and obviously true professional, but because New Zealand have also won 2 and they've used similar bowlers, they feel like their bowling is fine. Would only be Kane would be the only guy that I feel would just come in automatically.
They were barely in the contest against England or Bangladesh, but does a Turner at the Chepauk give them more of a chance against New Zealand?
They're a good side. It's just that they have been underperforming for a while in international cricket, especially when it comes to such tournaments. Shakib Al Hasan is perhaps the best all-rounder for a long time for Bangladesh and also in world cricket. And he bowled brilliantly in that game against England on a flat surface. So you expect their batters to, yes, they're getting some starts, but they want the entire team to play together. Odd guy is getting runs. Litton Das got some runs. The previous game he didn't get runs. So they need the entire squad to sort of do well. They have a good squad. They have experience. They have a couple of good young players as well. Hriday is a very good batter. So they have that mix. It's just a matter of all of them coming together.
Yeah, we've spoken about this with New Zealand. They just don't lose these games. They're least prone to upset, aren't they?
Yeah, these games, it feels like they're never going to lose. They just go out there and they just do the business. They know exactly what to do. Pressure never seems to get to them. The pressure of playing against a weaker team never really seems to faze them. They go out there, the same guys that need to get runs, the guys that need to take wickets, and they just get the job done. Bangladesh the other day, the other thing is that they lost 4 wickets to left-arm seamer and Topley. New Zealand have probably got one of the best in the world in Trent Bolt. So there could be that mental scarring too, which makes it a little bit easier for them coming into this contest.
New Zealand favourites clearly.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Anil Kumble and they'll stay back what should be Kane Williamson's New Zealand when they come up against Bangladesh and what will be the third game for both sides of this World Cup. That was our preview on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo Matchday.
Stunning looks, then swift